Tell me, how much money do you have in your bank account? For some reason, that question seems to put people on edge quite a bit. You don't believe me? Roll the tapes.
How much money is currently in your bank account?
Aha, skip, definitely.
Would you be happy to share how much is currently in your bank account?
Pass.
How much money is currently in your bank account?
Sorry, I'm not gonna disclose.
Over here in the UK where I'm from, talking about money is a massive taboo. Literally 50% of adults say they don't feel comfortable talking about the subject, even though they're worried about it. Don't know about you, but I'm fairly sure that maths does not add up. Part of the reason why I create videos online, going out into public and talking to people about money is because unless you see everyday people talking about it, the only comparisons that you're able to make are to people on the internet talking about money that sound a little bit like this.
Sometimes I talk really big numbers on this channel, like how I made just shy of $10 million last year in 2021.
Me and my business, these 9 different sources generate around $27,000 per week.
Over $6 million from the internet in around 5 years.
And perhaps that's not the healthiest thing to compare yourself to. So in this video, what I want to take a look at is how much experts are telling us we need to have saved up at each decade of our life. Because I can promise you this right now, you're not as far behind as you think. Before we do start by taking a look at how much a 20-year-old should save, I do need to show you how to even calculate your savings in the first place. Step 1, calculate all the money you have saved across all the various places. Obviously. These include everything, your savings accounts, your investment accounts, your stocks and shares ISA, your pension. Combine all of it. Step 2, on the other hand, is to calculate how much money you owe. These are things like your debts and loans. Do you owe money because you financed a car? Are you still yet to pay off the full amount of your credit card? And even the fiver you still owe your mate from last week. And lastly, step 3, take what you calculated in step 1 and remove what you calculated in step 2. Voila, those are your savings. The average person in the UK has £76,301 saved up. But before you start freaking out, what you need to realize is that figure is dragged up by the highest earners in society. Think about people like this or this. Now, the reason I know this is because the median savings rate in this country is £12,500. That's a lot less than the 76,000 average. For the purpose of this video, I am hoping that you recall your GCSE maths in terms of what a median is versus what an average is. And if you haven't, you might want to pause the video right now, take a quick look, and come back in 3, 2, 1. Let's take a look at how much you should have saved by 20. So the average savings for someone this age is £2,600, whilst the median sits at £200. Pretty much, if you have any savings whatsoever, you're doing better than most. But the key here is we don't want to be average. We want to be excelling when it comes to our money. So here's a couple of steps that you should be taking at the age of 20 to get ahead of 99% of people. First, get a credit card. Now with this credit card, you should never pay more than 30% of your credit limit, and you need to be paying off in full every month, otherwise it's pointless. By doing this, you're gonna help build your credit score so that in the future, when you wanna buy a house or a car, you'll be able to. Step number 2, open up a stocks and shares ISA and start putting some money into it every single month. Investing is a habit you want to start at a young age. Say you invested £100 a month from the age of 20 to 70 and managed to get the average return of the market of 10%. At the age of 70, you'll have £1.5 million. If you decide that you want to start at 30 instead of 20, by 70, you're only going to have £500,000. That's an £1 million difference by just starting 10 years earlier. And on that note, let's take a look at how much you need to have saved by 30. Experts state at this age, you need to have saved 1 times your salary, which here in the UK averages at £33,000. But how do what the experts say compare to what is actually happening here in the UK? Well, the average savings of a 30-year-old is £14,500, whilst the median sits at £1,000. In other words, the average person is only at 50% of what experts say you need, whilst the median sits at 33 times lower. Now at this point, I'd love to give a 30-year-old some advice on what they should be doing with their money, but I'm 25, so that seems a little bit out of touch. However, I am at the stage where I'm married, I am currently renting and hoping to buy at some stage. So I'm sure there are some 30-year-olds that will relate to the things that I'm trying to do with my money at this point. First, I'm trying to increase the percentage of my wage that I can save each month. And I'm not doing that by cutting out my weekly Starbucks. Instead, I'm looking at the 3 biggest spending categories that I have: food, transport, and housing. Number 2 is I'm diversifying my income streams. Relying on a stable job these days is not the best idea. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but stable jobs as a whole are out of fashion. So start building multiple income streams to support your future life. Let's now fly through the next few decades of your life. At 40, experts want you to have 3 times your salary saved. In the UK, that means on average, you need to have saved over £107,000. But what's actually happening here in the UK? Well, the average person has over £76,000 saved, whilst the median sits at £5,000. It's clear to see that you need to be way above average to be keeping up with what experts want you to do. Once you get to your 50s, you now need 6 times your income level saved. The tricky part here is that once you get to this kind of age range, your salary is at its highest earning potential ever. So having 6 times that saved up is probably quite hard. Again, taking a look at the numbers, that means on average you need to have saved almost £200,000. However, data shows that the average 50-year-old has less than £60,000 saved, whilst the median has just over £5,000 saved. If you're in your 20s and 30s thinking, how the hell am I going to save £200,000 by the time I'm 50? Don't be alarmed. If you start that investing habit early, by the time you get to the age of 50 or so, the idea of compounding interest starts to really take hold. What that means is the interest you've earned on that original money that you've put into your account starts earning interest on itself. It's a bit like a snowball effect. At the beginning when you're investing, that money seems really small in terms of what you're putting in. But as it rolls down the hill, the snowball grows quicker and quicker, faster and faster. Let's say you had started putting away that £100 a month at the age of 20. By the age of 50, it should be returning you on average £20,000 a year. That's how you're going to save £200,000. And finally, once you get to 60 and you're getting towards your retirement years, you need to have saved 8 to 10 times your salary, which here in the UK averages between £230,000 and £290,000 of savings. And what the data tells us is that people at 60 suddenly realize that they should really have started saving a long time ago, with the average saving rate being almost 117k and the median being over 20k. It's clear that with retirement around the corner, people start taking their savings very seriously. So hopefully you watching this video with a couple of years, if not decades to go, start taking it seriously now, because you don't want to have to rush at the end. Now, I actually want to say something a little bit controversial at this point in the video. Everything I've just said is bullshit.
How can an expert just come up and say you need to have saved 8 times or 6 times your salary at each of these ages when they don't know the difference between Dave, the investment banker in London, and Stacey, the teacher in Birmingham?
Money can't be a one-size-fits-all approach. It has to be personal. I mean, the study that I've been quoting this entire video even states that it assumes you're saving 15% of your income every year, invest half of that, aim to retire at 67, and keep your lifestyle at the same level that it was before you retired. The truth is, you need to build your own goals. Figure out how much you need to retire and start building a plan of how to get there. Perhaps you're living at home right now, so you can save 100% of your retirement. Or on the other hand, maybe you just got married and you want to go on a big honeymoon, meaning that you won't be able to save anything that year. As long as you've got your own plan of action, you shouldn't need to follow exactly what these experts are stating. Okay, that's the controversial opinion over. Probably wasn't so controversial after all. You tell me. But if you did like this video, it'd be wicked if you could sub, like, drop me a comment about your thoughts on this video. Or perhaps you want to watch this one where I actually go and talk to real people about their money in London. See you in the next video.